Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to Basic Binges on Nom Talk Network. On the show, we review popular shows that are out right now while eating or drinking our favorite snacks or drinks. Don't forget to redeem those channel points. Yeah, I'm your host Jefferson, and right now I just snacked on pizza. I don't want to bring it upstairs. I am very low tech right now. I'm at my parents' house with just one source of light and a low tech laptop, but that's okay. We're still here. We're still in this. On my left, according to screen orientation, on my left is Mikey.
Hey, how's it going? I had pizza too, strangely enough, but I'm
Yeah.
snacking on some chocolate covered espresso beans and a green tea. So there you
All
go.
right. That same bag of espresso beans,
Yeah, I love these things.
dude. Is it from Sprouts?
No, it's not from Sprouts. It's from Trader Joe's.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. I'll have to try some. And
Hmm.
then on my bottom left is Kenji.
How are you? How are you? Good to see you all again. In the middle of this, you might see me jump off screen to change my shirt because I'm not in the right shirt because it's not matching my Gatewalker Saga mug that I drink my water out of constantly. So I'm definitely going to be doing that.
You
As
want to
far
give
as
everyone a show? We could just do it right here on camera.
No, you actually can unlock that if you go to my Patreon. If you No, I'm kidding. I don't have one of those. 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 But I do have myself a roast beef sandwich here, so I'm gonna be
All
numbing on
right,
that while we talk today.
all right. Uh, man, I did not feel like eating while watching these two episodes for sure. I They were pretty gross. I mean, especially the episode. What is that? Seven? Around seven now?
Hmm.
One, two.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're on seven. Wow. All right,
seven
we're,
and
we're
eight,
halfway
right?
there.
Hmm.
We're halfway through the nightmare that is Junji Ito, Tales of the Macabre on Netflix. I guess we could just go straight into it. With episode six. Episode six, Junji Ito's Macabre, was pretty straightforward, I thought. It was a really good like 30-minute mystery. Oh, we're on seven. Seven and eight. Is that what we're
Seven and
on?
eight. Hmm.
Seven and eight. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Toontown. Toontown was episode seven, and that was just a great, straightforward, I guess, cautionary tale. Um, After getting hit with a car, Tsuyoshi and his sister Kaoru visit this town, and in this town is a bunch of tombstones blocking everywhere.
Hmm.
It's just a mysterious bunch of tombstones, and as the story unfolds, we find out why there are tombstones, but not into the specifics. It doesn't really explain what kind of like fuckery is going on, like magic or sci-fi. It doesn't really say exactly. It just is what it is. Kenji, how did you feel about this episode?
Um, I mean, this was. this was. I feel like ultimately with the way things played out, like this was such like these two episodes were like such signature Junji Ito. I feel like
Yeah.
it had the that sense of it had that mystery and the unknown and that fear of the unknown, which that's the thing that terrifies us the most as human beings, but also like just the body horror
Yeah.
imagery that Junji Ito is so famous for. The visual aspects of it, they were very much on point and front and center for episode seven. So like I really I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It reminded me of this other horror story, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it was because I made the connection, but now I can't make the connection
Is
now.
it
I
by
can't remember.
Cronenberg? Is it by the homeboy body horror guy?
No, it wasn't Cronenberg. It wasn't a Cronenberg story. It was. I mean, obviously, like this was very Cronenberg
Yeah.
esque. I'm actually these last two episodes very much so
Yeah,
were
yeah, for
so much
sure.
Cronenberg for sure. Actually, technically speaking, two episodes, three stories. All three of
Yes.
them were very much Cronenbergy. Is that a word, Cronenbergy?
Cronenbergian.
I think it works. Yeah,
I think it's
It's
Cronenbergian.
appropriate.
Cronenbergian.
We're coining it. We're making it
Yeah.
happen. Cronenbergy. But they no, this I just thought it was just so well done. Like it wasn't quite Cronenberg that I was referencing. It's like an actual story that like I kind of had like an idea of. It almost kind of gave me a little bit like I know what you did last summer kind of vibes almost with like the idea of like hitting like the mysterious figure only to find out that it's not just a mysterious figure and then all sorts of bullshit ensues kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I thought it was, I just but yeah, I thought this episode was great. It basically it's like I wish all of the episodes were as strong as this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, yeah. Funny you mentioned yeah, the whole body. Yeah, all 3 episodes technically did. Yeah. Sorry, 3 episodes. All 2 episodes of the 3 stories did feature body horror in some way. Yeah. I I we'll get actually I have a thought about certain thing, but we'll get to that in a minute. Mikey, how did you feel about this episode?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was the most complete story of that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I loved the whole body horror aspect. Also, it reminded me of like when I was a kid. There used to be like those tabloids you see at the checkout, like you know the stores, and then they have these weird
The
things like
National Enquirer and
yeah,
the
exactly.
Globe and stuff.
The
Yeah.
boy bat like that. There used to be one story about like a guy who was like, "Oh, I'm growing into a tree." Like he's got moss and stuff coming out, and it was like, "Oh, I thought that was the grossest thing." And then when I saw this, I'm like, "Oh, this takes me back."
What is that fear? That is definitely a fear. It's
I don't know
not-
what fear that is, but that's that. I don't know, but yeah, that was like one of the grossest things I've seen. I remember thinking about when I was a kid. When I saw this, I was like, "Oh,
I was
perfect.
triggered.
This is
Well,
perfect."
yeah, there's something about a fear of like turning into something that you shouldn't be turning into. Animals are fine with me, but it's
Right.
when it's like a plant. Like I felt it during while reading Swamp
There's
Thing. I felt it while watching
Swamp
Swamp
Thing, yeah.
Thing. Something about having plants come out of you is just so fucking weird.
There was also a story in Creepshow where Stephen King was doing that one, and he turned into like it was like an alien meteor, and it turned him into like a plant-like creature or something.
The
It
movie
was a
Creepshow, right?
Creepshow, yeah,
Yes,
mhm,
they did do that.
yeah. But I mean, I thought so. I could see where this was going after the car accident. I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
or like when they started explaining what was going on with the tombstones. I'm like, oh, interesting. But I wasn't ready for the big reveal at the end. I was like, ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It was a crazy looking creature. I loved how original it looked. It took a very basic story of like, oh, someone hits someone with a car, just
Yeah.
like can you said like I know you last summer, and then you kind of put a little body horror twist into it. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I loved it. It was great. Sorry for clapping.
I
Sorry
really
for
dig
clapping.
this one. It really is like a complete horror mystery. They didn't really explain. I love when they don't really explain anything. I just keep that eerie atmosphere and just don't I like to call it don't Donnie Darko director's cut it by explaining everything. It's just I love that scene where they're just a guy is turning into a tree and there's like, yeah, this just happens in this town. We just it is what we do. This is
Mhm.
all that happens. I thought the big reveal, I thought like one of the biggest reveals for the episode was gonna be when they go back to the car, and
Mhm.
I thought that the trunk of the car would be like would be like
Mhm.
propped up because like she was already like growing into a beanstalk or
That's what
something.
I thought too. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
expecting that.
But then I was like, oh no, that works too. Yeah, the a crumpled up version of that growing into, I guess, stalagmites. That was also like that was not what I called, but yeah, cool. I really digged that. Um, the dream sequence, sort of dream sequence with the I guess the Titan version when it comes out of the well, and our boy kind of imagines it, and it's not. Yeah, yeah. That imagery of that like that Titanic figure was like I would love to see that in live action. I I googled a little bit of this story, and this one is complete. Like it's just the one and done. Um, and yeah, no, this was yeah, no, I really dig this one too.
Mhm.
Completely destroyed the resale value of that Sylvia, though. Like, just completely
Mhm.
destroys the trunk of that car. Seriously, that is a classic Rice Rocket S13, and that girl just destroyed that with her metamorphosis.
Yeah.
Is that the type of car they would use in Initial D?
That is actually
Yes.
that is actually Cole. Well, the Tokyo Pop, they call him Cole, but in Japanese his name is Iketani.
Right.
The leader of the Speed Stars. He drives that car specifically.
Okay, so we're in the 90s, maybe.
Yeah, specifically in the 90s for sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think probably most of these take place in the 90s. Maybe that's where our time period is basically at, of it being a
Well,
timeless.
I thought,
Junji's a pretty timeless
yeah.
dude, but
But which story was it? Which segment was it that it actually blatantly says it's like
96.
96? Yeah.
96 was
So,
That is the one with
the
the
well, that was
layers.
the
Layers.
layers.
the
Yeah.
Matroshka girl. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is a really good segue into layers.
Yes, sir.
Layers of Terror was episode 8. Layers of Fear, episode 8, part 1. And yeah, part 1. And it opens up with an archaeologist discovering a tomb made up of several layers of earth that look distinctly human. That's the best way I can describe it. It's very when you kind of when you cut a tree and you can see like
The rings.
the
The
rings.
ring.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
exactly like the rings.
Yeah.
And it cuts all the way to 1996, and we follow his family of the archaeologist. The archaeologist isn't there anymore, but his wife and 2 daughters are just driving around, and they get into another car accident, I guess you could say. Another
Yeah.
car accident, and when they go to the hospital, because one of the daughters gets her face disfigured, the doctor goes, "Yeah, so when we cut open the epidermis, another epidermis was underneath it." Another face was there? Like, bro, is she okay? I was like, wait. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for another like I guess trypophobic kind of horror. It's the thought of like just having another just cutting a hole into your body and the other part of your body is like preserved underneath. Pretty fucking creepy. Um Kenji, how did you feel about this episode? Yeah.
Um. First of all, I thought this was great, and first of all, the gore factor in these 2 episodes, I felt were very much severely missing in the other episodes prior to these.
Mm.
Except for like hair. Hair was probably about as bloody as we got.
Sure.
And so like the fact that we were able to go even more messed up and even gorier with these 2 episodes, I was really happy, especially this with the layers one, because obviously we have, I mean, it's extremely messed up how like I actually had to rewatch it for a second because I was like, wait, her face is just kind of like dangling on that street sign.
Yeah,
Yeah. The eye freaked me out. The eye part
Yeah,
of the
it
face. I'm like,
really
wait a
freaked me
minute.
out. Oh yeah, absolutely. But
I
then like
paused it there too and was like, that is pretty
visually weird.
suspicious.
Yeah.
It was so like weird, and but like I mean obviously, but then like like the second like they mentioned like there's another face underneath and it's just layers, and like the second they said that I knew exactly where the story was going to go, with
Damn.
how like how like the mom was saying like I wish I could take you back to being 2 years old and stuff like that. First of all, like I mean a lot of Japanese moms, I don't know if it's just a thing, I don't know if all moms do it, but like I feel like Japanese moms in particular are very much like, oh, I wish I could take you back to being 2 years old, and then I could do this, that, and the other. It's like, yeah, because that's like the last year you decided to like be like loving and then caring, and then after that it just became strict. but, but like but like the second they mentioned that there were layers, and then like I just knew exactly where it was going to be going, and it was just so terrifying. And then like to see the mom ultimately do her like best, you know, uh John Travolta, Nicolas Cage impression from Face Off, like
Oh
she just
God.
it was just so terrifying. Like the second I saw that blade come up, I was like, oh, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. And then when
Okay,
she just like peels it off, I'm just like,
like like you, I knew exactly where it was going to, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to see it. I guess because like I wish this was to me also a two-parter too, in a way. I wished it was a full 30 minute thing. Mikey, how'd you feel with this one?
Yeah, I could do more with the story. I mean, I could see more of the story. But I think this is actually one of the first few ones that was like short. That I was like, okay, that's kind of satisfying, like a satisfying
Sure.
middle, beginning, and ending. Um, um, yeah, when I first saw the face thing come on, the face her face gets partially severed with a street sign, right?
Yeah.
And it's hanging on there, but the eye's still attached. I'm like, that's an animation mistake or something. No, it's like, no, it can't be. They wouldn't let that go. And then when they finally do the reveal with the doctor and like they say that the layers of the skin, then you think back to the beginning of the episode where the you see the skull there. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then I kind of thought, wait a minute, it's just the skull, not the body. But I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. And then it plays up later on when
Yes.
she starts ripping off the face, but like notices that she starts ripping off the body, and the body doesn't really change. It's some weird sort of contorted kind of like not even a real body. It's just
It isn't a real body. You know what that
yeah,
reminded me of? When that reveal happened, when she kept on ripping apart the rest of the body,
yeah,
but the face was a baby. It
yeah.
reminded me of that grandma from SpongeBob who's all like, what are you selling? Just that imagery of just the baby face with a tall, like, nondescript body. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I can't.
Someone in chat was like,
Hmm.
why do you never see a doctor scream, what the fuck? When he discovers shit like a
That's a
second
good point.
face
The
under
doctor
your
that
face.
discovered it was very calm. He's like, "Oh, it's very strange. We should look into this more. Maybe you should come back for more tests." Like, he should be like,
Can
"What
you
the
donate
fuck?
your body for science?
What is going
look,
on here?"
because not every doctor. That's why I like Dr. McCoy from Star Trek so much, because McCoy is like straight up is like, I ain't seen this shit before. What the fuck is this, Jim?
Oh yeah.
um, but like, I mean, maybe it's Japanese sensibilities. We don't want to offend. We don't want to offend. It's like, but it was like, so we saw like another face underneath your daughter's face when we were doing stuff. Yes, we know. Oh, you know. Well, man.
Yes, it's
Everything's fine.
occurrence. We've had this in your family for
I
years.
apologize for making a big deal about this one. Clearly, it's not. I apologize.
What is a tonsillectomy?
Tonsillectomy. Oh, that's
Tonsillectomy.
when
What
they.
is that?
I think that's the surgery where they basically. Oh, that's where they remove your tonsils.
Yeah.
So at the very end of the episode, when the rocks just fissure out of his mouth, it's just like.
Oh, okay, that's in reference to the last. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
KD in LA on the chat
That's
was
my
like,
pops.
yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Good
No, that
observation.
this got under my skin. Did I get the pun? Wait,
Ah.
no. Is that?
You
Oh,
should have
wait,
saved it
no.
for
Wait.
someone to redeem it first, and
Oh,
then you
that's
could
what
have
he.
used it.
Whoops.
You
I'm
wasted
sorry.
it on that.
I'm sorry. Well, I
You
preemptively got the
preemptively did
pun.
it.
I want this as a full movie. Like, I liked it that much. I was thoroughly creeped out with this one.
I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
what was the creepiest part. Was it the part where she was ripping the skin off her daughter, or was it the part where she starts cutting her face and ripping that off, Or was it just the image of the body, the giant lanky body with the baby face? I don't. There were so many creepy things
There
in
was.
this episode. It was great.
It was like a great slope. You know, I take it back. This worked fine as a yeah, fuck it. This did work fine as a 10-minute thing. Yeah, everything was there. Like the height, the origin, without saying too much, the build up to it, and then just fuck everything with the ending where everything just goes straight to I guess like a climactic like unraveling of unraveling. That's the best way I can put it.
What
Yeah,
is
even the
the
mom. I forgot about the mom. The mom.
yeah cutting her face?
Yeah, it was very. It was very.
Surprise!
It was very hereditary of them for that mom to do that. Just self-inflicting kind of imagery is just really prevalent right now in a lot of like horror.
Do you
I think.
do you think that's part of the curse? Was that the mom was crazy also, plus the daughters were cursed with this extra skin, or was the mom thing just separate?
I think the
I
mom was
think
driven to. I think the mom was driven to insanity. I mean, yes, she was probably like obsessive about her daughter,
Mhm.
yeah.
you know, but like
That
I
wasn't
feel
part of the
like
curse then. Using
yes, it wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those. It's ultimately kind of one of those like. I feel like She's basically was driven to insanity because she wants to believe that the sacrifices that she's made up until this point
Mhm.
mean something,
Mm.
Right.
and like I mean, she technically speaking, she sacrificed her daughter because she
Oh
thought
yeah.
I might be able to see her at 2 years as a 2 year old one more time, only to just have a friggin' head left
Yeah.
over afterwards, and then for her to just be like, "Wait, I mean, I could do that too."
Yeah, I don't think there was any like underlying curse that made her more deranged than she actually is. I think it's
Yeah.
just I think it really was human nature just like added that just came to a that just erupted inside, I
Maybe
guess.
it's that thing where Asian parents are very critical of their kids sometimes. And how she was
That,
critical of the older sister. He's like, you don't look as good as your younger sister.
that entire car ride, I'm sure other Asian parents have heard that kind of talk, but I was lucky enough to have two very loving parents. So I don't know what that's like. I don't know. I never
Oh, so you missed a whole other horror section of that
I
episode.
was gonna say Jefferson didn't have the true Japanese experience.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I didn't like. My parents were like, "Oh, you want to be an actor? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we support that. Be an actor." When
There you
when
go.
I
No,
know
mom,
other.
no, push me. Tell me I need to be a doctor.
Yeah, I got that from my grandpa, but not from
Mhm.
not from my parents.
None of the
My
comparing yourself to other siblings thing that most Asian parents do. But yeah.
yeah, I hear that a lot from my friends. I have I have a like yeah one of my best friends. I know I've heard it like overheard talks like that
Yeah.
behind closed doors when when the doors should have been I guess thicker for
Yeah.
like a better term. Yeah, it's it is it's its own horror. It really is
Yeah. There's
like
different aspects of horror in this entire segment. So yeah.
yeah. We got Katie in LA who just redeemed Hydrate.
All right. Let's do it.
My water bottle is downstairs. I will hydrate later. Right? Yeah, it's downstairs. Yeah. Um, I guess. What did you guys? Yeah, did you guys watch this in the Japanese sub or?
So I've been watching it in dub. I don't know what else you guys are watching, but
Oh,
I've watched the English dub.
I am very. I religiously only watch anime in the original dialogue. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like if it was like Chinese animation, I'd still end up watching it with the Chinese dialogue with English
Sure.
subtitles. It's just the way it is. I don't know. I feel like there's a particular nuance with an original language performance, even when you don't understand it. I feel like there's like there's just that little extra on there that just makes the dub just seem like shit. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of got to give it to this dub though for at least episode 8 with the layers of terror. I really digged the mom's performance in the dub. Mikey, did you? I know you saw it in dub too. How did you dig
Yeah.
the performances in this one?
Oh, it was great. I loved it. I think for me, the reason why I watch it in dub is because like I just like being in LA, you just kind of run into a lot of dub actors, like English voice actors. So
Mm.
I just kind of like listen to it there because I never know who I'll run, like, oh, I know this person or something like that. So that's why I listen to it that way. I thought the mom's performance was really good.
Hold on, wait. That's kind of a big flex. Who have you met?
Just other people. Just don't worry about
Okay.
it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things where I thought the mom's performance was really good. And also I thought the older sister, when she's getting really frantic and like, the performance really came out on that one too. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I also tend to like rewatch things in the subtitle after I watch the dub. That way I can concentrate more on what's going on. But I mean,
Right.
but I appreciate both.
I've
Yeah.
been going back and forth depending on what I'm doing. Like if I'm like doing my laundry or watching episode, I'll watch it in dub. But if I'm just having dinner, or if I'm just like focused, yeah, I'd watch a sub for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, but yeah, for these two, I watched it in dub, and yeah, I no complaints. It was pretty well done. But yeah, special shout out to the voice actress for the mom, especially when we get to the scene with the tearing of the face. That was a really nightmarish performance from her. Katie in LA, I'm pleading the fifth. Kenji's mom knows where I sleep, and she might be watching. uh,
That's another episode right there.
yeah, that is another Junji Ito
that
manga.
would be a Junji Ito thing, like the Junji Ito for the modern era. Just a mother that always knows what's being said and knows what's going on,
Mhm.
regardless.
I
Always
forgot
like
the name of it. I forgot the name of it, but there is a Junji Ito manga short story with a neighbor, a really creepy neighbor. I can see the face. I know it was animated in the last adaptation. I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember what it's called, but there is a Junji Ito manga about a creepy neighbor. I wonder if we can pull up the picture somehow. No, it's too late. We can't do that. But anyway. Anyways, any final thoughts with this before we move on to what's that last one called? With the ocean? The thing that drifted ashore? Any final thoughts with layers of fear? Because this was to me was the highlight of these three
I thought the
stories.
very end scene was like the daughter like feeding, like bringing food to like her her mother who was like crazy and obviously had her face disfigured, and then the sister who was completely, you know,
Ah,
un inept and couldn't do anything for herself. I was like, and then she herself was like being picked on earlier in the episode, and then she's the caretaker of them. I'm like, oh my god, that's such a sad ending to the
yeah.
entire thing for everyone. No one came out good in that one. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, no one
it's
did. Like
heartbreaking.
we're I think we're in a pretty good spot where one, two, the only good ending we've had was, I guess, the Hiki the Hikizuri siblings, I guess. That's the only one I can think of that had an okay ending.
oh, like a quote unquote happy
Happy ending, yeah.
happy ending, or an ending where everyone didn't just
Fucking
die.
die. Yeah. That's the best way
She's
to
not,
put it.
or an ending just wasn't as grim and and depressing.
Yes. Man, if only it was this strong in the opening episodes. Animation wise, I thought these were great. Um, Still, again, the best way is to read the manga because
Mhm.
the finer details and all that. But I thought they did a pretty okay job at animating the grotesqueness of Toontown and its body horror with the with the tombstones,
Mhm.
and you had Layers of Terror, Layers of Fear. I keep saying Layers of Fear because that's a video game. That's
Oh, okay.
that's a game on what's it called, on Steam right now.
Mhm.
Layers of Fear would be I think it's like a horror haunted painting game. It's I played it once. It was pretty spooky. Yeah. Um,
Toontown would be a really good game, like as like a mystery type game, and you have to figure your way out of the town. That'd be great.
Toontown as a game would be, in general, yeah, Junji Ito game would be pretty fantastic.
I was about to say, if actually, I would love to see, like, dude, they need to get like Junji Ito to direct like Silent Hill.
Yo, that was gonna be a
Ooh,
thing. That was gonna be a thing. Remember Silent Hills by Kojima?
Yeah, wait, was it
no.
Ito
Junji Ito was
attached?
part of it, wasn't he?
Was he? Oh man, I mean, I have no
Uh,
idea. Like, I mean,
1 second. Let me
are you
fact
talking about
check
that
that.
secret game that he made and was like,
oh yeah,
PT.
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 okay.
Well, PT really only is supposed to be playable trailer, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, remember, if you have a PlayStation 4 with PT on it, still your PlayStation 4 is
Yeah,
automatically $3,000.
Yep.
I
Yep.
saw something on that on YouTube once, or it actually might have been from our old work that someone was doing like a history of that, and I was like, man, if I wish I had one of those PlayStations, or like just discovered it like a garage sale, like they didn't know, like someone didn't know what they had, like oh, but you couldn't
Dude,
check it.
I am so upset because I actually had PT on my PlayStation 4,
You
but I was like moving a bunch of games off and stuff because like
no.
this was before I got my
Wait.
external hard drive and stuff. So because of
Oh,
that, I ended up deleting and uninstalling PT. So when I
oh,
went to go back to download it again, it was already off the store and I couldn't get it anymore. And I was like,
Wait,
oh.
wait, wait. No, no, no. Wait. If you go to your order history, you should be. Yes, though. Wait. I will
because the
go to your
license,
house and download it for you. I swear it's
Jefferson,
there.
Jefferson, no, like it's actually like a thing. It's like because technically speaking, it was never quote unquote purchased because it was a free demo. So it was
Sure.
never actually given. And not only that, so
Really?
long as the licenses are there, you can keep playing it. However, the licenses are gone. So because of that,
Really?
they took it off completely off the store, off of everything. Because like, trust me, if I would be $3,000 richer right now, Jefferson, if that was the case. Okay.
Yeah, that's something you sell right away. You don't hold on to that. Just sell it.
I swear I thought you could do that. I thought the
Well,
order download history would still be there, but okay. But yeah, PT was a dream team collab between Guillermo del Toro, fucking the guy, that
Mhm.
guy, Pan's Labyrinth, and Hideo Kojima with Junji Ito, all three of them. But it doesn't say what he was working on with them, but I gotta assume it's
That's awesome.
it has
creature.
to be. It has to
Mm.
be.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't see Junji really doing lending a lot of stuff to like MGS or even Death Stranding. So like, yeah, I feel like PT would have been like seems like the safest bet to make. Like, that's such a shame. That would have
yeah.
been so good.
It okay. This does confirm that it was Monster Designs, but because of the cancellation, nothing came up after that. But he was definitely on board. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, that this whole series really making me wanna play a Junji Ito game. I would love to play one of his games
Yeah, I
if he
would
ever
love.
made one.
Yeah, I think you'd make a great director for like a horror game for sure.
Yeah.
There's two indie titles that like draw inspiration from Junji Ito, but nah, they're not explicitly like it. They're
Mhm.
just like the line work looks similar. How do I put this? They're first person games, but they are cell shaded in a way that it looks like his manga art.
Mm.
The names escape me right now, but if I might Google them while you guys talk about episode 8,
Oh,
the
I
thing
actually have
that
the Twitch
drifted
up.
ashore.
I have the Twitch up right now, and to respond to Katie in LA, Del Toro got involved in the video game thing because Hideo Kojima was considered to be the one of the most cinematic video game creators for the time. So
Yeah.
because of that, you had an extremely cinematic lens on video games with a film director who has an amazing lens on how to view things. So because of that, and just based on that alone, they just said, "Hey, how about we decide to work together?" And Konami happened to have like this IP called Silent Hill, and they were like,
Yeah.
"This would be perfect to work together." And then something happened between Kojima and Konami, and then he got fired, and then like they took his name off of a bunch of shit.
I'm not the biggest like day one horror gamer, but man, Kojima and Del Toro on a title, that is a day one buy for me if it ever happened.
I cried when I found out that Silent Hill got canceled. Like the second I found out that MGS5, the shit show that happened with MGS5, I was like, oh my god, that means Silent Hills is, and like sure enough, Silent Hills is canceled.
There was no.
Like, oh
the fact that MGS5 to this day has no real ending is heartbreaking.
What are you talking about? There is an ending, but it's never going to be achieved, and it's also the reason why no one will ever platinum. And it's also the reason why no one will ever platinum the game, and that is nuclear disarmament, which is that every person who owns MGS5 has to disarm all of their nukes. It's never going to happen.
That ending happened on PS3. It happened on PS3. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's not like a grand ending, but it happened. I'll send you a link after the show. Yeah. Swear. That one happened on PS3 because they some people found out that it was easiest because the player base on PS3 was the smallest. So they were like, yo guys, yeah, let's work together. But there was more to it. Like there's a good documentary on YouTube by Did You Know Gaming that did a video on it. Mikey, have you seen this video?
No, I haven't. I'd love to see it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll link it later. But yeah, man, just them two being on a title, and now we have Death Stranding, which, yeah, still really cool. But something about just an alternate universe that is playing Silent Hills right now it's kind of makes me jealous. Yeah. But at least we're getting what's it called? Remake 2? Silent Hill 2 remake, which is probably them testing the how you say in American? It's like testing the waters for interest in the brand again, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're basically trying to see the popularity of the interest in the IP still.
Yeah,
because it has been a while since we've had a Silent Hill game,
right.
At least a good Silent Hill game. So
there was Downpour and something else. Shattered Memories.
The Room was also another one.
The Room. Okay.
Which basically all it was you're playing you're basically while you're playing the game, every now and then Tommy Wiseau just pops in going, "Hello, how are
you serious?
No, I'm kidding.
Wait, I just got that.
That's another horror movie.
Hi, doggy.
What's a funny story, Kojima?
You have to see my ass in the game. How else do you know it's me? You have to show my ass in the game.
I would unironically love a Tommy Wiseau video game too.
I know, right?
Throw it out there.
Did you guys go to the WonderCon where he was just there and he was like bouncing a basketball? He had a booth.
At what con?
It was at WonderCon.
I heard he
was at his booth.
He didn't even have like merch to sign.
No.
He just was there.
He was there. He was, at a booth.
He was just there.
I gotta look that up later.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him at LA Comic Con one time, and I got a selfie with him. That's about as close as I got. Yeah, that was about as close as I got to him. That was pretty cool. He was like, "Oh, okay, you want selfie? Oh, no video though, because I wanted it to be a video selfie." He was like, "Oh, no video," and I was like, "Okay, cool, I respect that."
Just selfies.
Just selfie, yeah.
I'm so tired.
Oh boy.
Oh man, Tommy Wiseau is totally the thing that drifted ashore which is a great segue into the other Junji Ito story, The Thing That Drifted Ashore. I'm sorry. Okay.
You tried. You tried. You
I
tried.
did try. Okay. All right, back to podcast mode, live stream podcast mode. The Thing That Drifted Ashore was the second story in episode 8 of Junji Ito's Tales of the Macabre. A mysterious sea creature washes ashore in this town in Japan, and it's stranded on the shoreline. And it's like this gigantic, just gigantic sea creature of mysterious origin, and people are like flocking to it, like wondering what the heck this is. Like it smells like shit, and it just looks grotesque. It's nothing like they've seen, and yeah, yeah, they cut it open. And Mikey, what did you think of this episode?
Oh, we're getting another like Last of Us, like plague thing coming out of the whale there, or the
Right.
creature. I was like, oh, so basically when they cut it open, all these people that did he eat them, I guess, or did he
I'm gonna
just?
assume so, yeah. Because
Okay,
in the beginning, that one woman mentioned how there was a person missing,
right.
and one of the people that was spat out when it was open was that missing person.
So here's the thing, though. It says so. Like I was wondering about this because they said that like the people that were there were living off of the animal as parasites,
Yeah.
and that they weren't eaten because they weren't digested. So that's why I'm wondering what happened there. But I mean, otherwise, anyways, basically they cut it open and then like all these people come out
Oh, I
and
see.
they're like very pale and they're very parasitic.
Yeah, what you meant, yeah, that's a good thing to mention. Yeah, it seemed like the sea creature preserved them because they are alive.
but they're not human anymore. They're like sort of some sort of
Sure.
new thing.
Zombie-like.
Yeah,
Zombie.
zombie like parasitic type thing.
Yeah.
And so like I was wondering like it was like a story that had like a very good mystery to it. Like what turned them into that? What is this creature? Was it have to do something with where they disappeared or what? But overall I thought the look of the creature was great. It looked a little bit like a whale, so you kind of get the idea of like when whales wash ashore, you got that whole feeling.
Yeah.
But you knew there was something wrong with it because it had all kinds of stuff on it. So you knew
Barnacles.
you knew something bad was going to happen with it. And then like I don't know the part where they just cut it open. I'm like, well, I don't know if you want to do that. Like, but like no one ever makes good decisions in horror movies. So I mean, it's par for the course. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty strong. This is not one that had a complete story to me. I think it's something that could be a really good story if they expand on it more in the future. But yeah, it was really good. Good images.
This one I saw a video essay on, and technically, yes, this is the whole story, but the manga elongates it a bit more and adds a little bit more detail. But this is technically, yes, the complete thing. But yeah, it does end abruptly. Kenji, how'd you dig this one?
Oh, but now that I know that it's the whole story, I'm actually a little pissed.
Oh yeah,
For one, it was so short,
yeah,
and it was like it seemed like just as things were like starting to pick up, it is ends.
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I agree.
yeah.
And the fact that this is like supposed to be, oh no, that's the whole story. That was the beginning, that was the middle, and that was the end. It's usually elongated, but that's the whole story. I'm like, bro, Junji, we need more. Like this is like, if anything, this is a diving board. This is a
Mm-hmm.
diving board to start off such an amazing story because I mean, for one thing, this thing felt like it was 5 minutes long. Like
Yeah.
comparatively to the
Last one, yeah.
face off that we got, like it felt like nothing. It felt like it was so short. Story wise, it was so short. Like it didn't tell me enough, like at all. Like I didn't tell me enough to get freaked out. It didn't tell me enough to be, to know what's, not even to the point where it's like, oh, I know what this situation is in this scenario, but how it's happening, like the mystery aspect of it isn't there for me. It didn't build up enough for me to even get to that point of mystery. It just ends so abruptly that it's like I'm kind of like, wait, what exactly is going on here? I think I know. Okay, so I do know what's going on. And now you're telling me it's it?
It's gosh, how do I put this? It does end with just the guy wondering what could they have possibly seen in the bottom of the ocean, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and then we see like that one lone parasite body just kind of like floating around in the water,
Mhm.
and then we see like another one of those leviathan looking things,
Yeah.
and then that's where it ends, to the point where it's like, I guess it's just supposed to imply like, oh, it's time for an invasion sort
Yeah.
of thing, but it's like, it's also so like vaguely implied too, that you're just kind of like,
yeah,
there's,
yeah, yeah.
there's no tension in what you're watching.
What if this is the prequel to Gil?
Actually, that's what I thought it was originally. I was like, is
Sure.
this going to be a prequel to Joe? But then it ended up not being at all.
Right, right. I think what he was trying to say for this one was I think he it's not the it's less the fact that it's a grotesque sea creature, but more of like the horrorness of the ocean and the freaky shit that's down there. I think that's just what he was trying to say with this one, at least. Also the the part where we find out that all the humans are alive. It's just, it's just, it just feels like the worst. It just feels like the worst SeaWorld tour in a way that makes
I
sense.
was in Shamu's belly for 7 months. Months, you assholes.
It's it has a very it has like a the creature just feels like it has like this vibe of like, oh, you got yeah. What am I trying to say? Aquariums, aquariums, and let's see how you guys like it when you put us into a into an aquarium.
So you're saying this is his statement against
Kinda.
SeaWorld, basically.
Not just SeaWorld, but also like just I guess animal entrapment,
Animal
animal
captivity.
captivity. Thank you. That's it's to me it's that. It's those two things. Fear of the unknown of the ocean with animal captivity. That's like that's where my that's like the big brain left side of my brain got out of that story.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I do agree that this should have been a longer one. Um, yeah, I think of the two, Layers was 15 minutes to this one being 5.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it did feel that way. Yeah. Um, Before we move on to the post-credit scenes again, um, final thoughts on the thing that drifted ashore. I guess yeah, Mikey, what you in general like what was your final thoughts on this
I
one?
liked the creature design. I thought it was familiar, but it was also grotesque in a way because with those things in front of it, like the stuff on it. So I liked the creature design. Um, I liked a lot of the character animation of like of like the people that were inside the belly, like how they kind of look human but were still not. So that was pretty good. I mean, it was um aside from that, I felt the story was a little bit lacking. But definitely something there to like expand on. Um, um, yeah, I felt like to end out if you're just like looking at that whole episode as giving that a score or something like that, I'm like the layer one just hold it for me. It was so good that like this
Yeah,
one was kind of like, oh, you were like so high, you were like an A, and then this kind of brought it down to a C almost that for the episode.
sure, sure.
I'm like, okay, but there's something there. I just don't know if I like it.
It's a great proof of concept at the very least.
Yeah.
Okay. Kenji?
Um, I will definitely say that, like, uh, animation wise, first of all, I actually just realized this. I don't think I've seen one real, other than like the car. I don't think I've really, they've really stuck to hand animation for this, like they haven't done the thing where they've cut corners where it's like, oh, we have like a big, we have a bunch of moving bodies in this particular frame, so we're just going to use cell shaded character models for this particular shot. Like the scene where all the where all the guys, where all the parasites come out of
Yes.
the animal's body. That was all hand drawn. That was all hand animated.
Right.
Which I feel like, especially when it comes to like Netflix and stuff, with how much they try to cut corners with certain things, something like that, just for that one shot, they usually be like, oh, all the human beings that are coming over, that's going to be a CG element with that's just cell shaded, so we can cut corners. But no, but they actually took the painstaking effort to hand draw that. So I actually really, really appreciate that. I'm when it comes to animation and stuff like that, I really appreciate that.
I almost want to like skip that scene real quick on my tablet. You're not lying. I didn't even notice. I was not paying attention to that part. And yeah, I guess they really do be just hand
drawing it.
Hold on. Actually,
it looked good.
Now I'm looking at this from this angle. It's a weird limbo where it is hand drawn, but that's what CGI. Okay. Yeah, I the flesh of the fish is not.
Is it not?
The flesh of the fish is totally CGI.
It blurred me
Hold
out.
Hold on. The flesh of the fish is CGI. Okay. Right there, that fin looking thing is CGI.
Well, I mean, but as far as like the bodies though, that's hand drawn. Which of the things that should have been CG and hand drawn,
that's where they could have cut corners for sure.
It would have been flipped the other way. So the fact that they didn't do that, I'm really, really happy about. Definitely these episodes were a lot stronger. I didn't like that the third story just ends so abruptly. I would love to see more of that. Like, it's just, I mean, even because I know that there's like some episodes or some stories in this series that are supposed to be like, oh, this is a continuation of the story that you saw earlier. So like the fact that we're not going to even get that at all, like not even in like season 2, it really pisses me off. But with that said, though, like I really, really love this. I'm really hoping that, I'm hoping that more and more people get to see Junji Ito's stuff, and hopefully we get to see more stuff get animated out, or hopefully I would love to see a live action adaptation of Yo. I'm just saying, because that would be great.
It would be, yeah. Honestly, it could totally work. Just don't give it a sci-fi original movie channel budget, because it feels like it's so ripe for an adaptation by the guys that do Mega Shark versus The Train or something, or like Sharknado.
Asylum. The Asylum.
Asylum, yeah. It feels like they would totally it'd be up their alley, but it needs to be a bigger budget.
No, you're honestly, I would, if anything, I would go with a Netflix budget, but rather than getting big name actors for it, you get relatively unknowns, so that way the budget could go to like the story as opposed to just paying an extremely inflated paycheck.
Right.
I would like an all Japanese production too. I think that'd be great if it was live action. An all Japanese production of it would be amazing.
Yeah, I can see that too. I
feel like because I feel like these stories are very much rooted in Japanese, like
they are
culture and superstitions and stuff like that. So like I think if Netflix did it, I would want them to keep it that way and not like botch it and like try to like Americanize it.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Gyo, when you dig down deep into it, fish are more important to Asians than it is to white people.
I don't know, man. Have you seen Deadliest Catch? That show
Oh,
was
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Okay, okay.
Don't
Okay. Well, I
discount
mean,
the East
maybe
Coast, yeah,
maybe the imagery of
Lobster Man.
well, no, you're right. There is fishing I'm talking out of my ass.
I was like, dude.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. No, okay, yeah. I guess fish on legs could work everywhere. Monster
Not
fish.
just not just fish, sharks on legs,
Sharks on
whales
legs.
on legs,
Sharks.
everything's on legs.
Octopus.
Octopus already
Actually,
have legs, but yes.
but then they get those weird crazy spider crab legs, and then
Oh yeah.
so essentially you get just you basically just get Cthulhu
Yeah.
at that point, just
Right,
spider
right.
Cthulhu.
I think I'm almost I don't want to fully agree because there was an Uzumaki live action movie that was mega shit, but maybe now maybe now live action Junjito could work because that Uzumaki movie came out in like 2001 or 2, and that was not it.
I mean, I would want to honestly, like, I would want to get like a direct. If it was to happen though, you'd want to get someone like Guillermo del Toro,
Or
Yeah.
involved
Takashi
with it
Miike.
I'm
because
all for that.
not only that, because like I mean, well, Guillermo, as much as he is a visionary and stuff like that, he also loves to do so much of it practically.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Oh
that's
yeah, fair.
and I feel like there's a lot of Junji Ito's work would translate really well live action, provided that you try to do as much of it practically
Yes.
over cutting corners and trying to do CGI. Because like I don't know if you saw uh, the Thing remake that
Not the
came out.
remake. I've not seen the remake yet.
Yeah,
Wasn't it
the
also like
original
technically a sequel? Is that a spoiler?
It was a prequel. It was a prequel.
Prequel. Okay.
it's a prequel. It's supposed to be a prequel, but it follows the exact same beats as the first movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But the problem was that when they filmed that thing, the scenes that everyone hates about the remake is the creature looks completely fake and looks completely CG.
Yeah.
Find out that when they actually filmed those scenes, they actually built a practical one that was meant to be shot. So it was like it looked beautiful.
But it was a stand-in?
But they didn't no, it was meant to be like the thing. Like it was
Okay.
supposed to be like the thing that you were supposed to be looking at the entire film, but then like last minute someone decided let's just replace the whole thing CGI instead. But because of that, like,
Yeah.
but because of that, like, a bunch of the money that went into building this practical creature that didn't need to be technically practical to begin with, like all that budget that went into this is now missing from doing a full CG creature. So the full CG creature looked like absolute crap.
I see. Wow.
But that's the thing. It's like you need to have a director who's able to has a good idea of how to do things practical. He's able to do a good balance of that. Like there are some directors that are really, really good with that. Like Guillermo's one of them. Favreau's another one that's really, really good. But I don't know if he's really about horror. Sam Raimi is another director that does a lot of stuff.
Well, John Carpenter would have been. I mean,
and Carpenter would have been beautiful too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
I want the person who directed Raw and Titan to do a Junji Ito live action movie.
wait, Raw and what?
Titan? Did you watch Titan?
No.
Oh man.
I think Raw. I saw previews for that.
Saw Raw. Okay.
Raw. No, I never saw Raw, but I saw the trailer for that.
I forgot the name of that person. I think it's a woman.
Raw's the one where like it's the girl that's in a culinary school that like she starts developing a taste for.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And then Titan was the one where a girl that isn't really a role model, a good role model, has sex with a car and gets pregnant with the car's baby.
Jefferson, maybe we should do is like at the end of the entire series, we should like pick each episode and each story and decide what director we want to direct a live action version of it.
I'm writing that down because Hikizuri should be Tim Burton as a claymation movie.
Yes. Like the way that
that's a good idea. We should do that. We should do that.
The Hikizuri family, yeah, Tim Burton claymation for sure.
Yeah, save some time.
Yes.
And we'll like cast it and we'll put a director to it and like we'll just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not Tim Burton because who's the real guy who directed fuck? he deserves more credit. The real guy that really directed Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
The real guy. Shit.
I always thought it was Burton.
No, it was it was
It wasn't Burton
Henry Selick. Henry Selick,
because
yeah.
Burton was busy like dealing with Batman Returns crap going on
Yeah, yeah.
with the studio and everything.
Right.
So he was barely
And
there.
also the threequel that ultimately ended up not happening. So.
Yeah.
The threequel. Oh, there really was a third Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a third Batman movie,
Hmm.
and it was supposed to end. In fact, like the whole thing, like in fact, Batman and Robin was supposed to be a Burton thing for the longest time. Like Burton actually, I think he helped film like the first like week or two of like filming, and then like they went with somebody else because like they actually filmed the ending. I don't know if you remember how the first Batman movie ends with Keaton standing on standing on one of those gargoyles, and he just kind of looks
Mhm.
up, and the bat symbols in the sky.
Yeah.
They redid that shot, but instead of it being Keaton, it's now Val Kilmer and Chris O'Donnell standing next to him as Robin, and they're standing on the exact same thing with the bat symbol shining up in the light in the sky, and then that's where the film was supposed to end, and all that stuff, which is.
Ah.
And apparently they were supposed to keep that original ending, but then Joel Schumacher decided at the last minute, no, we're going to do the thing where they're just running at you at the very end.
Huh. Did not know that.
Yeah, but yeah, no, there was so much, like I mean, shit, like they even had a sole script with freaking Billy D. Williams as Two-Face, which would have been so
Wait.
cool.
Yeah, he never came
That's because
back
he
from the first
played.
one.
That's because he played him in.
He played Harvey
Yes,
Dent.
yeah.
He played Harvey Dent in the
Yes,
first
he did play
Batman.
Harvey Dent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was any like continuation to that. I was like, wait.
Oh, there was
Tommy
a
Lee-
plan for it. Like he planned on doing. There were plans to have it going forward, but then like things just kept changing hands, and then by the
Right.
time it got down to it, they just were like, nah. Yeah.
All right. Man, yeah, no, that's a really good idea though. Like picking a director to direct each story by the end of this run. And speaking of which, thank you again for tuning in to Nom Talk's basic binges of Junji Ito's Tales of the Macabre. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you again. Be sure to continue the discussion on Discord, and shout out to my guests, Mikey and Kenji. As always, where can we find you, Mikey?
Gripsy47 on Instagram, and also if you're going to the Radwimps concert in April, I will see you there.
The what concert?
Radwimps? Yeah.
Oh shit.
The Japanese band?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a concert.
Oh, in LA. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was happening. And then Kenji.
If you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Kenjinator. You can also find me on Twitch at the Kenjinator, where I very occasionally and very rarely stream video games. But if you really want to tune in with me, you can find me every Sunday with my dad, who is a dungeon master. He runs a D&D campaign, the Gatewalker Saga, which is what I've been repping.
Where's your mug?
Where's
the mug? Yeah.
It's the mugs right here. Mug for the mug. Anyways, we have our campaigns. We have adventures every Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. At least I believe so. 1 to 3 p.m. KD in LA. It's a lot of fun. Check us out. I play an Eldritch Knight, which basically is a Witcher warrior mercenary who uses magic. But I gave him a little twist where he keeps making pop culture references to like modern day pop culture references that no one knows. No. Like while I'm talking, as I'm like trying to explain to like as I try to explain to my team members, like, well, it's like that time when like, there's that one scene in like Goodfellas where like that's how I explain things to my team members, and none of my team members know
awesome.
what's going on because basically my mind is making references to a dimension and a world that technically doesn't exist.
Yes.
So everyone just thinks he's insane.
My first character was like that. Out of the 2 times I've ever played D&D, like I alluded to the fact that my character might have been from planet Earth or something. With little nuggets of like you said, pop culture references.
You need to get back into that, man.
I am Jeffersaurus on everything, everywhere, all at once.
Even on his birth certificate.
On my birth certificate, it's Jeffersaurus. Until then, I'm your host, Jeffersaurus, and you all have a nomorific day. Also tune in to the next episode, which is on Last of Us on Monday. Yeah. Hosted by Mike Manalo. I had to scroll down.
And I'll be there
Have a great
too,
night, guys.
guys. Bye.